Can you guys hear that? I was being told we have no sound. So we're going to start that over again. Hello and welcome to Torg's Day Night on the Ulysses International channel. Sorry for the holiday gremlin. I am Jamie, your GM, and we're going to jump right into where we left off last week. The Stupidest Drone Part 2, a holiday adventure of spine-tingling cheer and horror, where Bureau G is called up in Shanghai in order to deal with a potential crisis brewing at a tower being built in Tonaka Plaza, downtown Shanghai. When they arrived, they immediately gloried on a crane operating role and managed to land inside, where they discovered a group of terrified holiday party goers, which turned out to be inspired by their glory to barricade themselves in a conference room, and a drone that had been injured during a event that happened several weeks ago, thanks to the Horsemen and to Peaches crashing a helicopter onto a crowded street in downtown Shanghai. So if you're watching Horsemen, this one's on you. This drone was in the process of carrying not only a specially modified cure for the infection that had ravaged Pan Pacifica, but had been since taken care of, but also an unknown strain of the infection, and in its damaged attempts to bring back the somebody who had a medical incident. It accidentally brought them back by injecting into this poor person this unknown strain of the virus, turning them into a Jianshi. Now, the group left off last time where the Bureau was getting ready to confront this Jianshi, who had moved off of the elevator and was standing in front of our very own Sanjiro. And so, as we rejoin the Bureau, standing in front of, getting ready to oppose this former corporate executive, now turned Jiangshi, strangely, perhaps maybe a super version of the Jiangshi, a reality-rated version of this Jiangshi. We will drop into here, and I'm going to have Sanjiro. When we left off, you were standing in front of the elevator. This creature had stepped off the elevator, to the screams and the cries of the people who were off to the side, who had escaped the initial carnage. Blade drawn, the creature hunched over, moving kind of strangely as its limbs and its joints still popped and twisted under the influence of whatever transformation it seems to be involved in. Sanjiro, you are close enough to see large, like the lymph nodes on the creatures kind of swelling and pulsing just a bit. And so I'm going to ask you to tell me when to stop shuffling.
No.
You want me to cut?
Yes.
Oh, good?
Sorry, everyone.
All right. Our first card is, ooh, not like this. Heroes go first, for this is a dramatic scene, but you are fatigued. Intimidate and maneuver is your approved action. Who would like to go first?
I would like to help set up Sanjiro, so I'm trying to maneuver by staying just on the edge of the peripheral vision of the Jiangshi,
Okay.
so that he can just get sort of twitchy.
Okay.
So to create an opening for our friend.
Now, I will let you know that this would also provide you cover as you're kind of staying out of the way, kind of moving between pillars and such.
Right, but I'm not. I'm almost staying out of the way.
Almost staying out of the way. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to make sure he notices me, but I'm trying to move out of his notice.
Okay.
As the maneuver. But thanks for the offer.
I was trying.
Well, okay. I guess I hello, Mr. Jiangshi. That's a total of 9.
That is not enough.
Yes,
I will say that I mean because it's Torg and you kind of know these things. Its maneuver is 15, so
yeah.
uh, but Sanjuro, you do see it kind of almost unable to help itself in the corporate suit that is now torn and shredded from newly developed muscles and strange changes into the musculature. It actually also it kind of half turns to keep you and Auditor 17. Auditor 17, I just have one question for you. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your living land's playset is?
I mean, it's still clutched to my side. Yes.
Okay. All right. This has become the focus of the mission. Who is going next? And then Auditor 17, you will be fatigued. And all right, putting supporter in play.
Yeah.
All right, go for it, Ben. You're muted, sir.
Aha! Now I'm unmuted, and I shall repeat the vote. As Auditor 17's maneuver has failed, I will attempt to maneuver the Jianshi in order to make it hopefully very vulnerable for Guru's attack. And what I would like to do, I believe, is head towards the Jianshi. But if I recall correctly, the area that we are in is constructed. It's an unconstructed sort of grid area.
That is correct.
So I want to charge the Jianshi.
Apologies for some technical difficulties tonight. Christmas goblins.
And then fly straight up above it. So if it's me towards Sanjuro.
Okay.
And I. Okay, aces, mogaces. Here we go. Oh no. That is terrible. So I will roll a possibility. Oh, perfect. Okay, so a will do anything.
What was your final total?
Yeah.
No, what was it? I didn't hear it. You cut out for a brief second.
13.
A 13 will not. Flying up. The DN on this is a 15. All right. Sanjuro,
Okay.
both of your allies move to aid you, and the creature with its Santa hat and Merry Christmas in bright gold lettering across, with little splatters of blood in the white, velvet around its head. Still seems to be focused on you. In fact, you can see the reflection of the like as the security lights have kind of come on, right? The flickering continues. You can see the light of the amber security reflecting off your blade, and you can see it almost looks like two little lines of fire in the creature's eyes.
All right. First, I'm going to make sure my suit, I'm going to button up and go full, make sure I'm in full body sealed suit.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move in.
Go for it.
All right. All right. Well, I am going to use my at the center. Prior to attacking, the hero might spend one shock to gain +2 test bonus to the attack.
Okay. What does that give you a total of?
Awesome. Ooh, my total is 27. Armor piercing 2.
Well, its dodge is 15. So a 27 is an outstanding success. So go ahead and give me the damage roll. What's the base damage on your electric katana?
My base damage is 13.
Okay.
My total damage is 21.
Your total damage is 21. So
Yes.
that is 2 wounds and 4 shock. However, as you see the creature, you bring your blade down in a slash. The creature steps back, and at first it's unclear to you how much you've damaged it, and it will spend a possibility to soak, which should it automatically tells you, Sindro, that this is not a typical Zhangxi. This one seems to be infused with perhaps humbug energy, or perhaps it is a true Christmas miracle. Bah humbug is how I will put that. I rolled a 6 on this reality roll. So I'm going to spend another possibility to try and up that. Well, that came in at a 3, so it's a 16 total, so 3. So it will take 1 wound. So you kind of bring your blade down, it steps back, but you can automatically see that like it's starting to stitch itself together a little bit. You can see little blisters form along the edge of the wound, and as they pop, they kind of connect and start to draw it tighter back together. Now, you've done a wound to it, and you are in melee combat. So,
Vengeful?
it is vengeful, and you can see that one of the nodes pops. What is your dodge?
Well, that's a good question because I have something called No Mind. So I may use my sword to use my melee defense instead of dodge if necessary after
Okay.
the attack. So my dodge is 10.
Your dodge is 10. Well, this hits at a 17.
Right. So I can do 2 things with this. I can use No Mind. The heroes so attune themselves to their art that you may use their weapon even against. No, I can't. He's not using a weapon, so I can't use that. 17, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, looks like you got me.
All right. Oh, that's a 6. And a 3. So, what's your toughness, sir?
My toughness is 13.
All right. So that's 8 minus 2 is 6. So that will be 1 wound and 2 shock as this caustic bile strikes at you, burning its way into your armor, kind of getting into your respirator, clogging it up. Do you want to spend a possibility to soak
I
that?
think I will attempt to soak that. I got a 15 on my reality.
All right. So what does it look like as you use your reality skill to not get hit by this caustic bile?
It says, so as I do it, I bend in a way that should not be possible in this type of heavy armor. So, but instead of like flipping backwards, it's kind of doing a complete turn. It's a 360 and dodges, and I come around and watch the bile go around me.
All right.
And hit the guy behind me, I guess.
I feel like there's nothing like Santa hats and caustic bile that says Christmas. Like it just. Speaking of screaming Christmas, the creature leaps onto you, claws, attempting to not just slash at you, but you get the feeling like it wants to grab you and draw you closer to it. And the creature does let out a "oh, oh, oh," as it comes forward. Ooh, that's a 20, followed by a 15. So I have a 25 to the creature leaps in with a 25 to get you.
Okay. This
This is unarmed combat, so you are armed.
armed. Okay, so then I can use my. Then I. All right. Well, 25, huh? Well, that's not great. All right. Well, it sounds like I'm going to be taking another soak
All right, is that an outstanding success?
against my
Melee
armed?
or
Melee-
unarmed?
against my melee defense. My melee defense is 17.
Okay, so that would be only an outstanding or a good success to hit. All right, so you are restrained as well as it grabs onto you and with inhuman strength kind of grabs you by the shoulders, pins your elbows to the side, and starts to lift you up. And does a total of, what's your toughness again? 10, correct?
13.
13? All right, so that's up 7. A wound and 2 shock.
Well, I think I better try to soak that as well. I'm good dying immediately. All right, I got a 13 on my reality.
All right, that'll reduce 1 wound and all shock.
All right.
So is it just looks more painful than it actually is?
Yes.
All right, well, you are restrained. It is
Alrighty.
now, the next action is they regroup. Villains go first, heroes go second. Villains get an inspiration, which does not help them in this case, and taunt is the approved action. And you get the what Auditor 17, you and Joe see is the creature just rears back and throws Joe out the window, or attempts to.
While it's holding me?
Yeah, it's holding you, and so it's going to use its maneuver to throw you out the window.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's spending a possibility. 20, 33. So that's plus 10. So its maneuver is a total of 25. All of the good dice rolls apparently were being saved for the second part of our adventure.
So who is it throwing out the window? Me?
Yes, Sanjiro. Yes, you.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. That was the confusion. Yes, Sanjiro, you're being thrown out the window.
Right.
What's your maneuver?
And do I have? What's my defense against this?
Maneuver.
Is it opposed?
It is if you choose to spend your action to up your defense, take an active defense.
Sure, I'll take an act. This seems like a good time for an active defense.
To not get thrown out a window?
Not get thrown out of the 33rd story of a window, building. All right. So.
Hello to Zero Earth Element, all the ampersands. Good to see everybody. So all the ampersands tuned in right as I said the creature with its Santa hat.
Okay. Well, my active defense was only a +1, so.
What's your maneuver at then?
My maneuver at that is still only a 12, so I think I'm going out the window.
That is an outstanding success. You see, Sanjiro hits one of the metal window supports that got blown out by the bird missile, kind of spins and goes like totally bends it out of shape and goes flying out into the night. But not so much in a right. Remember, it's not the attempt to fly that kills you. It's the sudden stop at the bottom.
Right.
So it is now the hero's turn.
Well, I'm going to attack Sanjiro. Is that a straight air vehicles roll, or a maneuver roll, or a strength roll?
I would say that it is a multi-action air vehicles to get to Sanjuro, and then a strength check to make sure that you both don't go plummeting down. And
Agreed.
to
AC.
answer all the ampersands roll, yes, I did say.
That's a 20, man. We're good. There we go. Hold. Oh, that's a 10. That's a 30, baby. We're good. We're good. Okay, so that makes 36. Crap. Tangle. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. A 30 soul is equivalent to an 11 plus. So that will be a 22 air vehicles and a 20 strength.
All right. Auditor 17. With a whoop and a condor cry, Joe goes flying out of the building, grabbing, and as you watch, catches Sanjuro. That's the good news. The bad news is you are now on this floor with Mr. Tanaki by yourself. What are you going to do?
Well, I'll set up next turn, but so this turn I have to take the most crucially important action, which is taking my Zuzu and my computer skills, opening up a locked, secure file cabinet, putting in the Living Land playset, and closing it, and then turning around to Jianshi and going, you realize Executive of the Year is out of the question now, don't you?
Greg, you get a possibility for that because that feels like on-brand Pan Pacifica smack talk.
And then I play a flurry into my pool.
All right.
I'm basically doing active defenses for what I'm doing for actually rolling stuff. So.
Okay. Well, that's good because the next card is The Battle Is Mine. Another villains go first with inspiration. Oh, Sanjuro, what are you doing? I can't hear you, buddy.
Sorry. Well, I did take an active defense, but previously I played a flurry into my hand. I think now would be a good time to play it so that I could actually do something.
Okay.
So, can I get enough leverage off Joe to push myself back into the building?
I'm going to say yes because he got an outstanding success. I'm going to count it as part of a multi-action, though, so you'll take 2 to whatever you do here.
Sure. All right. I'll throw myself back into the building.
Hitting the glass, crunching underneath, sliding a little bit, I assume in a forward tumble, coming back up. You hear, Executive of the Year is out of the question.
Yes, and you are so not getting anything for Christmas, Mr. Tanaka. Well, that's not true. I do have something for Christmas for you. Very, very special gift. And I am waiting back in.
Okay, give me the roll.
All right. Oh, that is a mere 16.
That's enough to hit.
He's probably too tough for me. As armor piercing 2, damage 13.
Well, so here's the thing. I will let you know that he is toughness 2 or toughness 13, with 2 points of armor. So at the very least, well, and he doesn't take shock. So do you have a coup de grace that you can play?
Enough to injure him? I do not. It's too early in the game to have anything like that in my hand.
All right. Well, then, Auditor 17, you have safely stowed the Living Lands playset. Sanjuro is back in and brings his blade down, and Tanaki takes it on the forearm, and you can see that while the $1,000 suit is sliced by the electric katana, it doesn't seem to actually do anything to the creature, who is now going to try to get another hold on Sanjiro, because the battle is mine, is where we're coming in. Heroes, or villains go first. Defend or trick is the approved action. All right, so 17 is only going to give me a +4. That gets me to 19, which I believe is a good success against you, Sanjiro.
Yep.
And
Against melee defense?
Against melee defense, yes.
Melee defense is 17.
Oh, so a regular success. Okay. And your toughness is 13, so it kind of catches you and knocks you back a little bit for 2 shock. And it turns to Auditor 17 and just lets out this howl in an attempt to taunt Auditor 17. So, Auditor 17, what is your taunt?
It's a big. Ready for this? 7.
Well, the good news is, with the multi-action penalty, it only got to 11. So, you are going to be stymied this round.
All right.
But that is now you guys. So who is going first? Sanjiro, you're right up there. Auditor 17, you're up there. Joe, you're flying around outside.
I think I might want to trick it.
Okay, go for it.
So I have a pile of smoke pellets.
Okay.
So that'll create a... I feel like we might need to regroup here. So I'm going to throw down some smoke pellets. It's a -2 concealment penalty.
Okay.
And create some smoke, and then then attempt to allow the other two to disengage. Allow the auditor to disengage.
Okay.
I, however, like to attempt to maneuver him.
Okay, so you're going to attempt to maneuver him. Not
And
trick. Oh, maneuver and trick. All right, go for it.
Because I am a fool.
A game spent in the pursuit of the perfect action. It's not a game session wasted. This is your moment. I can feel it, Sanjiro.
All right, well, I got a total of... His maneuver is 15, so that did not work unless I spend something. Oh, wait, I did take this adrenaline. My trick is 13, or 12.
Okay.
Is that enough to do anything?
That is enough to make him stymied or vulnerable.
I feel that we should stymie him right now. And I will play this adrenaline card to get my maneuver to 15, which he said was his maneuver defense. And that will get me to another one level, so I can push him to very stymied.
Okay. And you will get action as your card for successfully tricking him. Under 17, you see the thing kind of draw its breath in to scream again, and kind of gets the smoke into play. There's flashing as the emergency lights start to flicker, and you can't really tell where Sanjiro is, but also neither can the Jianshi, and so it is taking wild swings at smoke phantoms that are created by the interplay of these smoke pellets and the lights, and it is wildly off balance to attempt to do anything else.
Okay. So I'll be on my little headset and say, Joe, how do you feel about pile driving a Jianshi into the ground?
I would be very happy to do so.
All right. So I would from the place I've stashed the living on playset, whatever official looking files are in there.
Oh, there's
take them
a ton.
and just ostentatiously just strut out to the edge of the hole in the window. So yep. Your stock options? You put all your stock options in a single folder? Hold them out the window. So foolish. Flop. And just drop them. hoping he'll charge me or go after the.
I'm assuming is
options.
this a taunt or a trick?
Trick? Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, that's better. Well, not a ton better, but still, that's going to be a 18.
Yeah, that's a good success. Do you have 3 more? Do you have a bonus card of anything?
Trade his action.
Okay, I have a flurry or a supporter. Which is yours?
Give me the flurry, please.
All right, bang, there it is. I'll play the action.
All right. So what does this look like, Auditor 17, as you get an outstanding success on this this Jianshi? I assume you're making him very vulnerable.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he'll charge me.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, and so, it goes. It's like normal speed as I get to the edge, and it shows my heel up against the edge of the broken glass and the long fall below, and just I start to talk, then it goes to slow motion, and you see all the papers. And his roar continues as he comes and charges me. And I'm sitting there, just waiting for the moment to let him go out and hoping that there'll be some Avenger flying down from above, Condor style, who will simply continue his acceleration down for 33 stories.
All right. The creature goes leaping past you. Joe, why don't you, what are you wanting to do here? Hey, Rook.
You're muted, I think, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, you're unmuted, sir. There you go. So, you guys all seeing the little green?
It's very Christmassy, Joe.
It is. There you go. All right, you are unmuted, sir. Go.
Red green, red green, red green.
We can hear you, Joe. Oh, no. While we deal with this technical difficulty, check out all of the other great shows on the Ulysses International channel. We will be running our Fading Suns finale on Thursday. I realized I gave a very solemn sign-off last Thursday because of just the emotional weight of everything that had been happening. So I cannot promise a happy game. I cannot promise a happy ending. But the campaign of again, like nearly 4 years of Fading Suns is coming to a head on Thursday. So if you get a chance to make it, please consider joining us on Thursday at 6 or at 7:30 Central Time for more Fading Suns as we bring that campaign to an end. Now that tolling of the bells signals that Joe is back. Joe, what are you doing?
Okay, so I would like to taunt and maneuver.
It's already very stymied and very vulnerable.
Yeah, he's already very, very vulnerable and very stymied. Oh, and Auditor 17, you got opponent fails.
I am taunting to get a card.
Okay. It's trick.
And I feel like it's trick.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's trick. All right, never mind that. Guess what I'm gonna do is maneuver and an attack. As the Jianshi comes out of the window, I'm going to spin it and throw it faster down. And as I speed after it, I will drop a bird missile on top of it. So falling damage and bird missile damage.
And that one's really for 0 Earth Element because, yeah, bird missile. Or no, it was also all the ampersand who was like, bird missile? Yes, bird missile. All right, go ahead and give me the roll. It is very vulnerable, which means its defense is an 11.
Okay. That's terrible. Okay, so I have to spend a possibility to fix that. No, it's still terrible, but it makes a 13 all day. So, it's still super, just +1. So, my, and then -4 and then plus, okay, so plus, so my missile weapons becomes a 17, and my maneuver is a 14. So 14 to maneuver him down, and then a 17 to drop a bird missile on top of that.
All right, well, let's start with the falling down. The damage of 40 plus 1 bonus die. And then go ahead and roll the bonus dice damage on the bird missile. Oh, that's an infinity. That's not good for me, right, Greg? If I'm reading this bonus die rolls, that's another infinity. My dice have turned. They have turned against me.
So
that's a third one.
4 and
54.
So 8 extra damage all day.
Okay, so all right, so hold on. Let me do the fall damage, which is now 57, which minus his toughness of 13 is still. All right, so I'm shooting for a 20 on this this reality roll. It's a 17. I'm gonna spend my last possibility because otherwise this guy just splats when he hits the ground. 18 and 17 is 35, which is a +10 to his 10. He survives the fall, and then the bird missile hits.
Oh, also the bird. Unfortunately, the bird missile hits at medium range, so anyone near him also get hit.
So what is the damage on the bird missile?
It's a 13 plus 4, so a 17.
So a 17. Is there any AP on that?
+2. It's a AP +2.
All right, so that will do 1 wound and 2 shock, and he has no, absolutely no possibilities left. So the creature survives the fall, hitting the concrete, doing a superhero landing, which we all know is bad for the knees. And this shockwave kind of ripples out as the concrete busts underneath him. The lights from the SWAT teams and the corporate security, they all just blow out. They're one of the some sort of sewer main pops, and the water goes flying up into the air. The crowd all takes steps back that have gathered. You know, they're backed by the Connell Corp security barriers. They take steps back. You can see several security operatives drop down, taking a bead, and then the missile hits, and there's this large explosion. And Joe kind of flying above him, Auditor 17 looking down multiple stories up, and Joe, at first, it looks like everything's okay. And then you hear it. You see a little girl go, "Ah, Santa!" And stumbling out of the flaming wreckage of the bird missile and the landing, definitely red, but not jolly, is this creature with one wound remaining. So, I'm not through yet is our next card. Heroes go first, but are stymied, and any action is approved.
Okay. So I know Joe is the one who's supposed to fly, but can I use my sword
Just
to go sliding down the building, like with my electric katana? Is that a doable thing? What's the difficulty on this?
Don't forget your motorcycle. It's
We
still
did
on
not
the.
bring them- Where? Motorcycle's on the roof. I don't have time to go get that. I need to get down there now.
all right. I'm gonna say it's Pan Pacific. I'm gonna make it near impossible for you. So that's a DN 20. Just remember, if you
What if-
fail, that is 40
What if
plus
he
1.
jumps out the roof. Okay, so what if we combo this? He runs and jumps. I hold him and take him to 3 floors up.
I'm not riding my motorcycle down the side of the building. That is also not going to work.
No, literally, I got you moving. I'll grab you with my hands.
Yeah, I think he's saying you
And
jump
you don't
off
have
and he
to
will kind of
apply
catch you
pressure.
and drop you down.
Oh. So that you're gonna lower me down
You'll
the
take my
33
turn.
stories.
I'll do it.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So is that a lower difficulty than difficulty 20?
Yes, that would reduce it to a hard, but that would also be incumbent on. I can't believe I just used incumbent on Joe making his air vehicle roll.
And strength, right?
And
Probably
strength,
both.
yeah, both of those.
And we're stymied, right?
And you are stymied this round.
Oh, we are the heroes.
I have a supporter to drop on you. That's in
Great.
my thing. So while I don't have a +3, you can count on a +3.
Right. Okay. All right. All right. So I start running towards the window.
Calming Joe.
And it says Joe. Meet me at the 27th floor.
The one spotlight that's still working kind of swivels up and catches Sanjiro as he. All right, Joe, give me the roll.
Okay. I'm going to spend one final one on that. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. All right.
No one gets as excited about good rolls as Joe does in games. It's amazing.
It's bad rolls. So when things get fixed, it's awesome. So I'm gonna drop a that is a 17 air vehicles roll and a 14 strength.
All right. So, Sanjiro, there's a bit. You are going to take a bonus die of shock for the abrupt stop, but it's only 2. And you kind of get caught and then slowed down just enough so that you can make your roll to do your landing and stop this thing before it gets close to the crowd.
All right. Well, I have now hit 8 shock, and I'm using the quick, Greg, help me out here. The law of something.
I'd say you probably want the law of vengeance at this point.
No, I want the law that lets me trade wounds for shock.
Oh,
Blanking on the name. It's one of the
yeah,
Pan
me
Pacific
too.
World. So
Yeah, no.
The law of tenacity.
law
Yeah.
of tenacity. That's it. So something pops on the way down in my shoulder,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm now wounded. I now have one wound.
yeah. It's not great.
So, but my will is reinvigorated. So and now I have to land.
Yes. So I'm gonna need. So it's gonna be a multi-action. You're gonna do your maneuver to land and your melee attack to cut this thing down.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just land.
Okay.
We're just gonna go for landing today.
Okay. By the way, a coup de grace to Joe for his action.
That's not awesome. I think I better spend a possibility on. 6 was not going to get me to where I needed to be. How about a 12?
So there's good news, bad news. The bad news is you needed a 14 to land. Does anybody have anything to toss at him, or does he take the bad news?
That supporter could come in real handy right about now.
Supporter.
All right, then you are fine. You land. So for JD who is watching, Sanjiro jumped out of the window. Joe flew up, grabbed him, dislocated something in his arm, and brought him down closer to the ground to where he could land. At this point, Auditor 17, you watch all of this. The creature's head snaps around. Something spurts from its neck. At this point, 2 of the guys and Raz come over to the window. And one of them smacks his buddy, and he's like, "Yippee-ki!" And his buddy's like, "No, don't be tacky." "Do you need any help?" Raz says to you. "Might I be of any assistance in this moment?"
And flurry.
Um.
But now I can attack after the auditor is gone.
Okay.
So I am. You know, well, they're coming. I'm rebuilding myself into the fire hose thing that's been dangling there.
Yeah.
I realize I'm not getting. I said, well, if you could follow me, I jump out and start running down 2 stories on a diagonal. So I
Okay.
get to where the corner office is. I want to shoot out the window and say, "Attention, valued stakeholders and loyal contributors. It is now safe to evacuate the building on the opposite stairwell. Do not use the closest stairwell. You'll be running into a horrific death. But the far stairwell shall be safe for evacuation if you depart immediately. Thank you for your attention."
All right. We'll do this as a multi-action, fire combat and maneuver.
All right. I'll probably miss the window. I guess it's woohoo. Okay. So that's 5. So fire combat is 17.
Okay. Window
Maneuver
shatters.
is 14.
All right. You get there. I assume you're landing in the conference room is your goal.
I'm assuming on a successful maneuver
Yes,
roll.
yeah.
Otherwise, I'm dangling once again. But yeah.
Yeah. No, you succeed. And at first, like, people kind of pick up chairs and they're like, "Oh, the corporation sent people. I told you they would be here for us." And they start filing out in the opposite of an orderly fashion. There's a mad rush on the door as they go toward the far stairwell. Are you going to play your flurry now, or do you want to wait for next turn?
I think I want to play my flurry now.
All right, go for it.
Because now I want to make sure that I have the Jianshi's full attention.
All right, go for it.
So I want sucks. You know what? I'm just gonna hit it. That seems like the way to go here. And that should guarantee I have its attention. All right. antenna. Oh, well, I only got a 12 on that. Is that enough to hit it?
No, its defense is a 13. Oh, it's got 2 wounds.
So there's enough to hit it, but not enough to actually do any
Yeah.
damage to it.
All right.
You know what? I'm just going to spend that possibility.
All
Let's
right,
just
go for it.
That gets me to a total of 19 AP2.
All right, that will definitely be a good success. Go ahead and give me the bonus die roll.
Total damage is 16.
With the AP2, that is enough to inflict its 3rd and final wound. What does it look like, Sanjiro?
So after I have landed not so gracefully, a little extra help from Joe. I pick myself up, I walk over, I take my sword and I tap it on the shoulder.
It spins around,
When it turns-
snarling.
And as it turns, I spill its guts. Straight across.
The little girl who thought it was Santa is appropriately horrified. But it hits the ground, knees hitting the concrete. It looks up, and for a brief moment, you see some sort of human recognition return to its eyes, and it just sort of gives you a curt nod before it falls over, dead. At this point, the corporate security guards kind of come around you, weapons drawn on you. Joe, you're flying up in the air. Auditor 17, you are on the 19th floor. And so as we bring this, as the camera on the helicopter sort of pans out, you hear the voiceover of the Kanawa News Network reporter talking about the heroic actions of an electric samurai, strange things afoot at the new corporate plaza. That's all. It was obviously an attempt to discredit and drive stock prices down right before the holidays. But we're going to start with Sanjiro. How do you get out of this mess, and what does a holiday look like for Sanjiro after you have succeeded at dealing with the Delphi Council needed, and then managed to break away from the corporate security out into the night?
Well, I deal with the corporate security, but what turns out to be a massively oppressive intimidation role, because with the effect that I've just jumped out of a 33-story building and eviscerated a mutant Jianshi, and I say something to the effect, "Right, do you really want to do this? So I can do this all day."
Several of them just take a half step back, and the one in the lead kind of pushes her companion's gun down, gives Sanjiro a nod. We've got to get those executives out of there. Follow me. And they go running past you. What do you do then with the rest of this evening, this eve, if you will?
Well, back at my undisclosed location that looks very much in a very much a Zen-like situation, and sparsely furnished, I will be meditating, and I will be painting with my rice paper with a brush. Landscapes.
Joe, what about you? We may need to come back to you, Joe, because you're getting that weird mute issue again. All right, can we hear you, Joe?
I think I'm good now, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so first of all, floating at 33 stories above the floor. I will fly down to 29 stories and grab the auditor from the corner office and take the auditor where he needs to go, which he said, drop me off here. And I did, and I left. And then I went to a bar where I sat down in the corner and I looked at the pictures of Ken, June, Ryu, and Cheops. And I wondered, what had happened to my old friends? Are they still alive? Perhaps I'll never know. Merry Christmas. Gotcha.
So I
And then
assume it
Auditor
picks up,
17. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, picks up with he's being dropped off by Joe, and I assume I'm tagging with my Living Land playset. I'm also dragging along Rax. Yeah.
Where are we going?
Chinese Chinese symbols. You know, the subtitles say recycling center, and he gives a code and knock on the door. A woman answers, and there's a voiceover. And it says that, you know, Kanoa Corporation disposes of people as readily as it disposes of trash. Recycling is a group of people who are going to repurpose and reimagine themselves, and this is where they hide out. And I hand the playset to her and say, "Okay, that should make them happy." And I've got a new member. I'll see if we can patch them up in the coming days. Walk in, just shut the door, camera will pull back, and that's it.
All right. Well, that brings the Stupidest Drone Part 2, our second of what I hope to be many Bureau G excursions over 2021 and then next year in 2022. Thank you to Bureau G for joining us. This was just a delightful, I always enjoy getting to run for you guys, from everyone at both on the Ulisses International channel, from Iconic and JD, all of us, just happy holidays to everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. We are going to be back in next year in January with a brand new Torg campaign launching here on the channel, and I look forward to sharing all of that with you guys. Next year, we're actually going to start it off as a sort of learn to play. We're going to make the characters on stream. We're going to get the rules explanation on stream, and we're going to start up. We're shooting for the 11th. We've got some technical challenges to sort out, but that's our start date that we're shooting for. Check out the Ulisses Twitch channel. I will post an announcement sometime before that to kind of give everyone an update. And if you can, join us on Thursday for the grand finale of the Fading Suns game with the crew of the Oh Boy. Gentlemen, anything you would like to say before we sign off?
Just thank you for this year, and I'm looking forward to next.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a hoot. Wonderful time.
All right. Oh,
If anyone enjoys any of these things, please go to the Ulysses International Twitch page and go to the Iconic Productions Twitch page. Check things out on Patreon, because the money that you spend makes these things possible. And then also, please commit to being here for these things, because the people that you saw tonight were people who participated in the chat and got elevated to be in the actual show. So if you enjoy the show, please stick with us, and maybe you'll be in the show.
yeah, and next year, if you like the show, if you enjoy what we do, if you like seeing Torg on Twitch, tell your friends about it. Tell them to show up. We're always looking at the metrics, always looking at the numbers. Have them like and follow the channel and subscribe on the YouTube side, because again, part of our metrics on gauging kind of the success of the outreach of the shows is, it boils down to that. So as Phantom just said, share us with your friends. So until next time, for the last Torg's Day of 2021, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. We'll be back next year. Have a good one.